Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here with my friend, Brittnie Boggus. Hey Brittnie, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Ben. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic, super blessed. Just hanging out here on a Wednesday. It's kind of a dreary Wednesday in the DF Dub. What's it like where you are?
Well, same goes out here.
Same.
Yesterday we were in the 90s. Today it's
Oh dang.
cloudy. Yeah, almost breaking 100. It's kind of making me nervous for the Texas summer to come,
Oh no. Oh my gosh. I just want spring to stay here a little longer.
or maybe have a real spring. One of the two. No
Yeah.
tornado would be
Yeah,
good.
can we get some? Yeah, Shark. Can we get some real seasons here? Get in the comments. I want to know who you are, where you are, what in the world you're up to. We're going to be talking about all things, immigration, why it's important, what we're seeing right now. Every day it seems like there's some new news with immigration. We're going to be talking about the NTRP, North Texas Relocation Professionals. Might even touch a little bit on Women of Global Mobility. Brittnie, I know you're active in that group as well. So, I'm really excited to kind of get into it. Should we check in and see who's out there with us today?
Yeah, we got Christian, Scott, and Stacy. Hey, everybody. I bet that weather in California is much better than the weather here.
Yeah, Christian, it's good to see you back. He said it's been a while for me. Welcome back, Christian. We saved you a seat, buddy, right in the front. Scott Chapman, what's up, Chappie? Great to see you, Scott. We were just talking. It's funny, Chappie. We were just talking about this time last year having margaritas over at the Great Plains office, the prime lending office that opened up over there. That was awesome. Let's see, Stacy Black checking in. Hello from Austin. What's up, Stacy? I didn't know Stacy. Does Stacy live in Austin? He
I
does,
didn't
doesn't
know
he?
that. I thought he was here, but you learn something new every day.
Look at that. What's up, Stacy?
But that might be
Oh,
because I call him like he lives here. And there's our girl.
our good friend Anandita Chaudhary. Hello, Ben and Brittany. I always like to say it like hello. Can't wait for this conversation.
There's our other good friend.
Jack, Captain Jack. What's going on? Hey everyone. Hey Jack, how you doing? Now Jack, right, Brittany?
I do. Jack has been what I call the godfather of this industry. And my first ERC, if it was not for you, Sherelle Kilgore, and Jack Chample, I would have been lost. So you three are angels to me, and Jack has been a mentor and just such an expert in the field, and just gives back so much to the industry. I mean, I'm so thankful for Jack.
Yeah, we love Jack. Jack's really one of those people that brings people together. It's funny you mentioned that. I'd kind of forgotten about that. How we met at the first time attendees
Table. Yeah.
table.
I was talking about that earlier today. So you were the first person I met. I knew nobody. It was back when I was working for a company that got bought out. And so I went to Vegas. I did not know a soul, had just brand new into the industry. And I happened to come across your table, happened to get invited to an event that was hosted by Sherelle. And then the next person I met was Jack. And without y'all, I would have been lost, because when I walked into the hotel, I went up to the wrong group because somebody else was having a conference, and they're like, "Oh, you're not with us." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." So then
It's
you helped me.
funny. Yeah, well, I'm so happy. It's so funny you say, you're not with us. And it's like when you go to these association conferences and you are part of this, group, this industry for so long, you feel like they're your people, and then you go up to a group that's not your people and you kind of almost just see the difference. Like, oh, that's the ophthalmologist. We gotta get out of here. That's the wrong conference,
And
but
they're not nice. They're not nice
yeah.
like us. Like, we welcome everybody. Like, "Oh, you're not our people, but we can help you find your people."
Yeah, we'll relocate you until you find the right group to be with.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Get in the comments, everybody watching out there. I just want to ask you right now, everyone watching out there, who was the first person that you met in this industry? Like maybe traveling, getting out. Who's the first person? It may not be like the actual first, but the first person you remember meeting. Give them a shout out in the comments. Who was that person? Make their day. I I remember one of the first people I met was Bill Grable. He was at my first time attendees session table, and he was the moderator. Him and Pandra Ritchie, who's actually went to high school right here in Richardson,
Oh,
were the
wow.
first two people I met. Yeah, and they were just amazing, and I haven't left. I think there's a lot to that. Who the first people
It,
you meet are.
it makes a difference. I mean, like I said, without you, Jack, and Sherelle, I probably would have never been involved in any of the groups. I mean, you took me in, you connected me with the right people. Jack took me in as a corporate, and without the first people that you meet really does impact people beyond what you think. And so now at this stage in my career, I'm trying to do the same for people, especially locally for North Texas relocation professionals, because it's hard to find the people you need. And we're all so welcoming and nice, but we all have groups like where you can really support each other. And so it is so critical.
I love it. You're so right. And Aditya says, Brittnie, I can't wait to see you both at NTRP.
Yay. I'm so glad that you're coming. It's going to be an awesome conference.
We're going to talk about that here in a minute, and I want to get the full rundown. If you haven't registered yet for NTRP, you got to register. It's going to be fantastic. Brittnie's going to give us the rundown. We're going to keep checking in here and saying hey to everybody. Get in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you are, and who the first person you met in this industry was. Matt Apfel says, hi, Ben and Brittnie. Great to be here. Boston in the house.
Trying to get him down to this conference too, but he's been a little stubborn.
What's the holdup, Matt? Come on. Just book it. Just book it. Jillian Guzda says, Brittnie, hey, girl.
Hey, oh my gosh, she was so awesome at Women of Global Mobility. So that was such a great event.
Yeah, I heard all about it. I was like, how do I get into Women of Global Mobility? I got to put a wig on or something? What do I got to do to get an invite?
You were represented. Jillian did so amazing. I mean, her speaking and her wealth of knowledge, I mean, so outstanding.
Yeah, we're proud of Jill. She's phenomenal. And I heard you rocked it too. I heard you killed it. Rob Zeitz says, Christian Internet, and you can check there you go. You can check out anytime, but you can never leave. That's great. Hotel California. John Johnson's got a question for us. Jonathan Johnson says, hey, Brittnie, where's the puppy?
Okay, John, I think Jonathan, you probably just saw him. So I've got this puppy. He turned a year, but he's still a puppy. He is a lap dog, but he is 150 pounds. He's a Cane Corso Great Dane mix. And so you might see him because right now I don't know where he is, but he's very needy and he's always in my lap or trying to be around me. So I don't know if I should be worried that I don't see him, but if he makes an appearance, you will see him because he's the size of a horse.
What do you mean 115-pound lap dog?
150.
150.
So when we got him, me and my fiance, he literally slept like a baby. I cradled him in my arms. And so he was my little baby. Now he's my big little baby. He just turned 1 year old, but he has the size of a bear foot. He is, Cane Corso, Great Dane, all the way. Turns out I let the dogs out the day before yesterday, and living in Texas, they just had to go outside, and there was a chicken in my yard.
What happened to the chicken?
So I'm terrified of chickens because my older half sister had a chicken that attacked me once. And so we named this dog Ezekiel out of the book of the Bible. And then my fiance likes Law and Order. And so he made his middle name Elliot. And then we put it together a day after that. His name is Ezekiel Elliott.
Stop playing. You named the dog Ezekiel Elliott by accident?
By accident. And we felt very stupid. And so we called him Zeke. Yes. But yes, after that, I was like, we named our dog after the football player. And I was like, that's all because you like Law and Order, SVU, and organized crime. Elliot.
Gosh.
Oh, no, he's here. I hear him snoring. So he's more of a child. And so he got out and this chicken is running around balking and he takes off. And the first thing I think of my head is because he has him pinned down. I'm like, oh my gosh, when our great grandparents used to snap a chicken's neck, I'm about to see that happen. And so Zeke doesn't like to hurt anything. He does accidentally kill frogs because his paw is seriously like twice the size of my hand. And so he'll paw at the frog and accidentally kill it. And so he let the chicken go because he just wants to play with it. And he was chasing the chicken. I was chasing Zeke and I got the water hose and that got Zeke's attention to come back to me and got him inside. And then I didn't know what to do with the chicken, but he needed to go back home. And so I had to call my brother-in-law to come get the chicken. to throw him back over. So we did not have a dead chicken, and Zeke did not hurt him, but you never know what's going to happen in Texas. And I did tell the neighbors, next time I cannot guarantee you that you're not going to have a dead chicken.
Yeah,
But
watch
please don't
watch
do
your
that,
chickens. Yeah, mind your chickens.
Very horrifying.
Sheila, who let the dogs out? Of course, we need one of those. Christian's writing for Ezekiel Elliott at this point. That's great. We got people checking in here. That's a crazy story, Brittnie. You got the wildest animal stories here. I asked people who is the first person you met in the industry. We got some great little shout outs here. Adrian Grimes says Mike Falia. Shout out to Mike. Mike's awesome. We love Mike. Christian says Isabel Carnes from Annecy, France. My first boss at Cardis in 2004. Sheila says Amber Smith. Shout out to Amber. Tag all these folks. Rob Zeit said Chris Ward introduced me to about 500 people at my first mobility event. Chris is good for that. Was that in Boston? Where was that, Rob? Curious. People shouting out the councils. That's awesome. Hosea checking in. Hello, Brittnie. Oh, we love Hosea.
Especially Brittnie, not especially Ben. Got you. I
can't get no respect around here, you know? Jeez.
Hi, Hosea.
You know, you introduce people and all of a sudden they become friends and they cut you out of the conversation, you know? And it's like, that was my friend, Hosea. Come on.
He just loves me the most, I think. Actually, I think he has equal love. But I think we equally love him too.
Yeah, we're going to see Hosea at NTRP as well, I think. So we might, I think we got a little something special planned at NTRP. Let's get into it. You know what, before we get into all the stuff with immigration, because we're going to talk about that, why it's important, what's happening, it's HCAP season, all that stuff going on. But I do want to ask you real quick, let's get into NTRP, okay? Let's plug this great organization we're both members of. We've both served this organization. And we've got the spring conference coming up, Brittnie. Give us some details, huh?
So a little background. So I'm on the board of director for membership. And so cough, cough, Hosea's email was wrong. So that's how come he's coming. So I had to talk with him before you, Ben. But we do have this amazing, amazing conference. It's going to be a 2-day event. It's unlike anything NTRP has ever hosted. I call it might not be correct, but it's like a mini ERC, especially for our corporates. One day is dedicated to corporates. We have special guests coming. We got Curran coming. We got Anapom coming. It is filled, jammed pack with both, like I said, corporate side, so many different engagements. Supplier vendor side, there's going to be so many different talks. It's a 2-day event. We're going to have a happy hour. We are doing our annual NTRP scholarship, which if you're not aware of it, please go to LinkedIn and see. Every year NTRP donates to local students that have been relocated, that are going off to college. And so I think that is something that most people don't know that we do. We've given away thousands of dollars. And so we're going to be introducing those winners. And then we are also doing a Mobility for Good award. And so this is kind of like the CNN Heroes, but with a global mobility focus. And, you know, so nominate yourself, nominate somebody that has been impactful to our industry. The criteria is coming out soon. It's going to have really cool, awesome custom trophies. If I were you, I'd want one. But I mean, we have seriously 2 days of fantastic events. We've got blocked off hotel rooms, so make sure that you reserve your spot. We've got parking, but you want to get registered before it's too late.
Okay.
We have so many speakers. I can't even give you the whole list, but I can tell you if you're going to anything, it's going to be this event.
Hit that like button, get in the comments. Let me know if you're going to the NTRP conference in spring. I believe it is April
22nd and 23rd, but you have to register now.
Okay.
I mean, you don't really have to register now, but I want you to because
stay on the show and then register like in an hour. Register then.
And I will actually drop it in the chat. Can I do that if I join the chat?
You can. Samara can do it.
Samara, can you drop the chat? Also, make sure to become a member because you want to get the membership emails, and I promise you it's worth your time and money. Corporates are free. but then you get to hear from me all the time when we send out stuff. And we also have our entire year planned, and we are having so many great events coming up. But the Mobility for Good at UT Dallas, this is one you don't want to miss. We're already at 100 registrants. It is going to be really, really great. And then after that, we've got an event in June, I believe. It's going to be so much fun. And then we've got our fall conference, our holiday breakfast, as always, our volunteer opportunities. NTRP also has certified relocation professional study groups, which is new. So make sure that you become a member today, but really get on Mobility for Good Spring Educational Conference. I promise you don't want to miss it.
I love that. And Jonathan Johnson's over here says 27 corporates are registered, which is awesome.
We're going to have more than that, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Mark my word.
Scott Chapman says he's registered. He'll be there. Rachel Longo's in. Sheila Benavides is in. That's awesome. I know Anandita Chaudhary's coming in with.
She's speaking too. She's one of our speakers. We have a lot of really great speakers. A lot of really, really great surprises. For the corporates, we're going to talk domestic and international. For suppliers, we are talking supply chain managers. Anapon, I know, is speaking on that. Then the happy hour, we're going to have lunch together. So part of the day is going to be split up on day one, corporates on one side, suppliers on the other. Then we're all having lunch together. And then after that, we are going to have a happy hour. Then day two, we're all together, and we're going to have even more speakers. We're going to have success stories, presentations. UT Dallas is one of the only colleges that actually has a program, a degree for global mobility. And so we've got students coming, and what better way to share our love for the industry than to show the students what we really do. So we're
I think that's a great recruiting. That's a really great recruiting tactic. I've had the pleasure of being a part of the Global Mobility Club at UTD for a while, and the students are phenomenal. They're so globally curious, and the way that they attack our problems from a scholarly standpoint and using research and data and a kind of a fresh set of eyes, I think is, you know what I think it is? I think it reminds me of the way the transferee and the assignee would kind of look at it. And so it's really easy, I think, for us as industry professionals who are just in it all day long, up to our eyeballs and files, you know, to think about it a certain way and kind of a transactional way and all that. And to lose the people behind the file, right? But these young people come into it, a lot of them with their own global mobility stories. I mean, so many of these kids, they go to UT. I say kids. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not.
They are kids.
But you know, but they come from other parts of the world, right? Or their families come from other parts of the world, right? So they're global citizens in their own right. And so I love to hear the way that they think about it and the way they report out on the problems that we face. So it's really pretty cool, and we got links here as well.
That is a great point, Ben, because they have, you know, a perspective that some of us don't have, and you know, we really want to be a mentor to them. There's going to be live voting. I can tell you that these students really are very, very special, and so if you're coming and your company has internships or hiring, let's get these students involved. Let's really take them under our wing, because we want to better our industry. I think everybody in this industry wants to continue having it as good as it is and bettering it.
Yep. We were actually able to place a student from the Global Mobility Club at an RMC here in Dallas.
Wow. That's awesome. I hope to place some in our internship programs, because they're all ages, but that is awesome. And, you know, when you first got out of college, think about where you were. You didn't know. And so these kids, like you said, they relocated. Let's get them involved with some people. Let's get them some JDs. Let's get them some new immigration attorneys to help some of our immigration attorneys out, RMCs, corporates. Anything.
Yeah, I know Hewlett Packard Enterprises has hired several of them, you know, where Kerwin works.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a good pipeline of young, globally curious talent out there that's really that fresh blood that we want in our industry. The other thing you talked about, and again, we will get into the kind of the business at hand of immigration and what's going on now, but I want to touch on the scholarship thing because I was the scholarship chair for a year, and I had the pleasure of reviewing the scholarship applications. I had the pleasure of working with the Foundation for Workforce Mobility, who also partnered to double what we were able to do for the people that we raised money for. And we were able to give out 3 scholarships. And the stories were so moving. Many of them had relocated, to your point, but again, many of them had relocated from other countries, or their families were from other countries. So what I didn't realize going into it was that so many of these kids are looking to go to college out of state, for one, but they're also, maybe they're not from this country. So not only are they paying out of state tuition, they're paying out of country tuition.
They have to be sponsored too. So, and then it has to be that there's a lot to it.
And they don't qualify for federal student aid because they're not necessarily U.S. citizens. So it's like, so they have so many obstacles to going to college. And one of them, and I connected with her on LinkedIn. She is actually at Harvard right now. She has founded her own nonprofit. She has founded a for-profit company that's doing exceptionally well. And I'm just blown away by the talent that this young lady has. And those are some of the young people that we got to meet through the scholarship committee.
That gives me the chills. I remember last year the stories because we invite them to come speak. I can tell you my little sister's in college, and when I was in college, it was cheaper, but everything gets more expensive. It's $14,000 because she's going out of state.
Wow.
$14,000 a semester. So, I mean, especially these people that have relocated. I mean, imagine going to a new city, not knowing anybody, and then also making your grades, making everything work. And then your parents obviously are, the company helped you relocate most likely, but so many changes, and these kids still are keeping their GPAs up, still striving. And so we really are passionate about that. And we will have that notification is going to be sent out by April 11th. I do not know if we're still accepting. I believe we are, but we can look in the comments. But we do get to have that given out. Last year we had first, second, and third place. We're really passionate about giving back.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Great organization, great cause. Get to meet great people. And I want to shift gears a little bit, Brittnie. Okay. We got to put our global mobility hats back on now. I know you work a lot with immigration. I know you're very passionate about this subject. You are probably one of the best advocates in our industry for the cause behind corporate immigration and what's possible and why it's so important. But I'd love to hear like your thoughts, just for those out here maybe who don't know you super well. But why is immigration so important to you, Brittnie?
Well, Ben, first of all, thank you. That is a huge compliment. Immigration, to me, I am very passionate about. I really care. When the average person hears immigration, honestly, they think of the border. Before I was in the industry, that's what I thought of. Again, that might be because I'm from Texas and we see things a bit differently, but immigration has such a negative connotation to it because of the abuse, the illegal immigrations that have happened. And people don't understand what immigration is. And so they don't understand the struggles that our immigrants are going through. And just the simple awareness, something as silly as somebody working at the gas station, you notice their accent. My fiance gets so embarrassed because I'll be like, where are you from? And then you can tell, I'm like, what beast are you on? And it's like the guard goes up, like he can't talk about it. And then I tell him what I do. And, it's not something to be ashamed of. People just need to know immigration does not mean that you're swimming across the Rio. Immigration is the best and brightest people in the world that want to come to America, want to contribute to America, that are Americans. America is the melting pot. And so I just am really passionate about bringing awareness to what immigration really is, because the media, people don't understand. And so corporates that work with immigrations have a really good pipeline, I think, to bring that awareness. Because if we sponsor people, well, it's very pricey and it takes a long time, but we have a different perspective because we want the best and brightest people in the world. in America
Yeah.
working for us.
I agree. I totally agree wholeheartedly. And I can understand the sensitivity, people might have when you ask them that question. I mean, especially with what's going on nowadays, I mean,
Mhm.
somebody were to ask you about your immigration status in the state of Texas, right? I mean, I can understand why people would be like, oh, I'm not really answering that question,
But they
because things have been
shouldn't.
so charged.
But they shouldn't, even if they,
Right.
didn't come. I mean, if, we need all kinds of people here, and so that should not be a topic that people should be ashamed of. And I think bringing awareness to immigration would help that. It's kind of like discrimination. Like your immigration status should not be a topic that you get the guard up. I understand why it is, but that is the little things that I try to do is because once I say that, like I told you, my fiance, like his eyes, like, I'm so embarrassed when you do that, but I'm like, wait. And so then once they see why I'm asking, I've got so many new best friends. On Anita, I actually called one time and like, hey, this person's on TPS from this country. Can you give me a lawyer to help him? And she did. And so, I mean, there's so many
That's
people
cool.
that have immigration status questions, and us immigration experts, that's our job. Somebody with an immigration status, they don't need to be an immigration expert. They shouldn't be ashamed of it either. They just need the resources. They need people that are passionate and can help or
Yeah.
point them in the right direction.
And I love what you said there about immigrants, in my opinion, are the entrepreneurs of the world, right? They're the best and
Absolutely.
brightest. We are in the fortunate place of being able to attract the best and brightest people from around the
Mhm.
world to come here to pursue their dreams. I mean, that is a very, very big differentiator that the United States has enjoyed for
Ever.
200, 300 years, since our inception. Thank you. You're absolutely correct. Since our inception, even before. And I think it's our biggest competitive advantage in the world. Right. And so, I love that you say that. And I love that you're such a big advocate for it. Let me ask you, we got a question here or a comment. Rachel Longo, get in the comments, by the way. If you've got a question or comment, we will give you a shout out. We will read it. Rachel Longo says most people don't, quote, want to understand immigration. Like you said, they associate the word with the worst of terms. If they took the time to talk to these folks, it would brighten their day.
And it really does, Rachel. I have seen, I mean, so many people just asking, and then really talking to them. All of a sudden it clicks like, hey, I don't need to be ashamed. I'm here legally. I'm working. I want to be here. And America, you know, we wouldn't be here without
Yeah,
immigrants.
we really
But the
wouldn't.
one thing that I don't like about America, I will say, is it's also because we're the melting pot. Every country has a meaning behind their name. If we have anybody from India, on Anita, she can talk about it. I think it is so amazing that people's names mean something. And so when I get asked what my name means, I'm like, it means nothing. But everybody else's names from other countries mean something. So then next time you talk to somebody from a different country, say, what does your name mean? And you would be so surprised. And when they ask you, just make up something.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. I'm looking at Samara right now. Samara, what does your name mean?
It means something. I bet.
Guarded by God. She said guarded by God. She knew it.
Exactly.
She knew it off the top. She was like, guarded by God. What? Questions?
Right. And so,
I
I mean,
love
I
it.
just think that is so awesome because I mean, I'm going to make up a meaning for my name, or somebody will, but I mean,
I'll make a meaning for your name. We'll workshop that. We'll present that
yeah,
that meaning to you at the next NCRP.
that
We'll get
works.
Yeah,
But
we'll
I
get a
mean,
committee
so
together.
immigration just brings so much knowledge, wealth, just so much to our country. And it shouldn't be associated as a negative term, but it is. But people that work in it and immigration, I mean, I was on the phone with a doctor's office yesterday. They sent me to a call center, and she's like, so you work immigration? She happens to work for Texas workforce. And so with the layoff, she got a notice. I'm like, well, no, I'm not ICE, first of all. And I told her what I did. And she was like, wow, that is so amazing. I'm like, people just don't get it. People just don't really understand. And more importantly, they don't understand the struggles that our immigrants have to deal with and how long it takes. And to me, that's
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, this is cool. Everybody's getting in the comments here. Get in the comments with your thoughts here on what your name means or what your thoughts are on immigration. And Adita says immigration should be a strategic advantage for all companies. That's what we believe at USI Law.
I agree so wholeheartedly.
And Nafis has gone ahead and either looked this up or just made it up. You never know with Nafis. Brittnie means kind, he says.
I feel like that could, if you spelt it right, that maybe could be right.
Well, maybe he found the closest. Maybe he found the.
But I feel
Maybe
like
it
that would
means
be.
from Britain. I have no idea what it means.
Yes, and so then somebody said, "Well, what does your last name mean?" I'm like, "Well, my middle name came from my dad's side of the family. That is all we really have. Like we passed down names. Like I'm Brittnie Blake Boggus, so I've got a boy middle name because every firstborn or every son or every firstborn child on my dad's side of the family is Blake, and he didn't have a son." So I was like, okay, so I got stuck with Blake. So that's the only meaning I have to my name.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, there's Blake Lively. I mean, you know, it's not totally unprecedented here. Jack Taylor's coming to us from the Great North. There, he says there's same thing. The same thing happened in Canada too. People are scared, especially people who are unlike them in physical appearance and voice modulation right now.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help when it gets weaponized every 4 years to stoke fears.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Interesting take, Jack. Hit that like, get in the comments here. I want to ask Brittnie about the HCAP season. Rob Zeit says, I'm guessing Brittnie and similar names might be from Britain or from Brittany in France.
So Bogus, I think, is Irish. Maybe I did the whole ancestry.com, tracked it like to whenever my family came to Innis Island, but it was spelled different. So really, I just claim, I think I'm technically Irish in like India, like Choctaw or something. But if I could be from anywhere, I would be from India. So that is where I say I'm from India because
Okay.
it's my favorite culture, everything about it. Love it. But yes, you're absolutely right. It does not help every 4 years changes. It does change. It causes fear and every administration is different. But yes, HCAP is coming. So the deadline is tomorrow to submit, if I'm correct. And then we should start finding out on the 31st and April 1st.
Talk to us about someone that's really involved, you know, as someone that's involved in this process. What has HCAP been like this year? How has it been different from previous years?
So some of the regulations, which again, I'm not an attorney, that might be USI law that can help us with that. To me, they put in more regulations because we were having so many entries, and you know, you could apply at different companies and they would all enter you and you could be selected multiple times. Now it's tied to your passport number, I believe. And so it doesn't matter who enters you, you can only be selected once. That's the difference that we've seen. You know, other than that, it's been about the same as before.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Like, as far as demand goes, you know,
deadline
how many
was
folks?
324. I was wrong.
Okay. As far as demand goes, I mean, are you seeing like increased demand, less demand? I'm hearing different things. I mean, you know, what's your
For
gut feeling?
us, from my experience, it's been about the same. I have heard from different people from other corporates, you know, some aren't entering DACA students because that was a hot topic. At least for us, nothing has changed. The ones that need to be entered have been entered. And, you know, you always have your people that we're really, really keeping our fingers crossed for. So, you know, come March 31st, we should have the results. I don't know if there would be, it's crazy to me. I always use the analogy, go get a Powerball ticket, and that's how the cap lottery is. But I do think that there might not be as big of amount of entries due to uncertainty, but I could be wrong. It might be absolutely opposite. I have no insight into that. I just know our entries, you know, nothing's changed. We've entered, everybody, the company has stayed the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to hear from folks out there that are close to this. Anandita, obviously, Nafis. I think I saw Rachel in there as well. I think I saw, what else we got over here? Brian Smith checking in here
And we
as
still
well.
have, what else do we have? Jack maybe has some insight. Matt would have some insight about numbers. I don't, like I said, I know for me and my experience, cap was the same entry wise. But I've heard others that
Yeah,
did
I'm
not.
really curious what people are seeing as far as the amount of entries. I mean, obviously, the new regulations cut down on kind of the double entries, but overall, I'm really curious, what people's feeling on the demand is right now. I've heard, some rumors, that folks are less excited maybe about the U.S. as a destination. We saw this several years ago where Canada actually eclipsed the United States briefly as the number one destination. And so I was kind of curious
I
if we're
think
seeing any of the
I think
um,
that might have changed
yeah,
recently. Um,
yeah. No, it did. Rachel says ours was the same. We had a lot of selections last year, so not as many students to enter this year.
oh, that's great. That's great news. We have a lot of students this year. So
How are you feeling right now about your chances, uh, generally speaking?
I mean, the percentage, the numbers, percentages, it all depends on the amount of people that are entered, and it is truly random. So you really can't give a prediction. When we had our town hall, we were discussing like our previous selection rate, but that's really based on how many entries there are. So, I mean, I'm feeling confident that everybody that we submitted, I wish everybody would get one, but if we get the ones that I really need to get one, that would be really good. But I just think it's impossible to predict until we know the numbers of submitted.
Sure. Hit that like button, get in the comments. I want to hear from you on this. How are you feeling about HCAP season? How are you feeling about your chances? What are you hearing as far as volumes? And Adita says, we have seen some large companies keeping to the same numbers, but definitely saw some others who have reduced because they are waiting to utilize the selections from last year. Very cool. All right. Good insight, Anandita. Matt says, we saw a bit of a decrease compared to last year. Good to know, Matt. And then Brian, I think this is Brian still. Yeah, Brian, there you go. Hit that like button. We saw a 17% selection rate last year. Wow,
And so to
17%.
Anita's point, we have had people that were selected last year start activating their H1s recently, probably due to administration changes. I think we had close to a 20 or 30% selection rate, but then again, it's all about how many you enter and how many people are entered. So the numbers don't really show the full picture. I don't think, but to be determined. All I can hope for is wish everybody got one, but the ones that really need one, fingers crossed. And then hopefully we'll have a second round, and then we can keep entering.
Yep. And this is interesting. Brian said we saw a 17% selection rate last year, and he said 13% the year prior. So
That's
actually went
because
up.
he came in and he did things differently. I can already tell you if it's Brian Smith. So
Yep.
that's pretty good statistics.
That's great. I'd
And
love
for
to
those
know.
that don't know, he was my mentor. Taught me so much. So still need him on your show, Ben. But he actually is the one that made me go to ERC. So we can
Wow.
thank him for introducing us.
Yeah, I think Brian's due. Yeah, he's due. Wonder why my profile is blank. Yeah, it could be a permissions issue. Sometimes, if you, my theory on this is if you don't allow people to see your picture if they're not connected to you, then it wouldn't show up in a public place like this. So that's my. It happens every once in a while, only to the best people, unfortunately. Jack Taylor says, but they were extreme the last 2 years to compensate for the consumer burden increase. Business supply couldn't keep up due to the heavy taxation and regulation. So this election
Yeah.
should fix that. It created a ton of cost of living issues. Jack
Yes.
saying,
He's
It could be a,
all
number one immigration country once we get past this shortage and tax issue. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I want to talk to you though. Also, we're hearing rumors, and I know they're just rumors, so we're just going to speculate. That's what we like to do on this show. It's our favorite hobby is to recklessly speculate. But I mean, I'm hearing rumors of a travel ban coming up. What are you hearing about that, Brittnie?
So, if you remember a few months back when we were talking about TPS, temporary protective status, and they were going through every country that had that. They revoked Venezuela, and so they were going through. Yes, that was TPS for Venezuela got revoked. The Trump administration's going through countries that still need TPS that don't, and so we should be getting an update this week or next week. Again, you can't predict it, but from what I am reading and hearing, there is about 40 countries that would be on this list. Some are on the red list, yellow list, and a green list, or I don't think it's green, but a different color list.
Yeah, explain maybe for those of us who haven't seen these lists or these mock-ups of these lists before, kind of what those different kind of categories are, if you know.
So again, we don't want to speculate because nothing is set in stone. And from what we've seen this year, or from the administrative change, they might say something one day and do the complete opposite the next day. But from what I understand, again, I'm not an attorney, but from what I understand, yellow list, not green list. Red is an all travel ban. And that is country, like if you're from these countries and you leave the U.S. and come back, regardless if everything's in order, you could run into some problems. Again, this is not set in stone. It's not published anywhere. And we have to wait for the update. But from what I have researched, there could be up to 40 countries that might be on this. The other list is visas are sharply restricted, and then 60 days to address concerns. All of that is still kind of up for interpretation, needing more direction. If you know more than I do, please jump in. I just know we expect some updates coming soon, and that would be a potential problem for very many corporates. So what we're doing is, make sure to stay in touch with your legal team. Do your own research. That's what I do is I do my own research. I make sure that I know everything that is going on, work with legal teams, make sure that you know your population, know where your people are from, know where, if they're traveling, if they have plans of traveling. We don't want to alarm anybody until it's announced, but just as a corporate or, that deals with immigration, just stay on top of your population, know what's going on, know the updates, monitor the updates, and be proactive instead of reactive, but don't be too proactive and freak people out.
Yeah, that's a tough line to walk there. The list I got, and I believe this was credited to the New York Times, but I believe we got this from USI Law. So shout out to our friends at USI Law keeping us informed. There's a draft list of the proposed travel ban countries via reportedly an internal Trump administration proposal lists the following countries whose citizens could face restrictions on entering the U.S. Some countries may change in any final order. But right now, based on this New York Times thing that I believe we got, and feel free to correct us here, red, all travel banned. Afghanistan, Bhutan, Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, Yemen. Orange is visas.
There could be more coming, but again, none of that's set in stone, so you might not want to announce all of that.
Oh, no? Okay. Well, we're going to go for it. Orange is, and this again, this could change, so, and I'm not an expert here. Okay, thank you. Super producer Samara making it happen here. Actually has the list here. She's put this up here. Yeah, the orange, Belarus, Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Myanmar, Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Turkmenistan. Interesting. And then, of course, there's a lot on the 60 days to address concerns. So those may end up where either on the orange or not on the list at all, I'm guessing.
Yes, and I don't really have complete certainty if that list is the ones that were in the timeline or if those are the ones that have 60 more days. But like I said, there's other countries that I know of that will likely be on one of these lists. But then again, Trump administration might wake up tomorrow and not do anything with it. And we don't know the severity of it. Like, so all travel banned. Does that mean even if you have the right documents that you can't come back? So more to come. Jackson had a question. I look at USCIS. I like to go to legitimate government websites for my research. I do some benchmarking with some other legal teams. To me, the most useful source of news is Reuters. Please chime in if y'all disagree. They seem to be pretty unbiased, but I just do research. I'll pull articles from this site, cross-check them. But I don't take anything into fact until it comes to be officially published from the government. But people might do things differently. So please chime in if you do, because I don't have all the answers.
Yeah, good point. Reuters, good source. The government websites is a good source. Apparently Twitter could be a good source.
No. And no Reddit, no TikToks, because I will tell you that if you're working with people that have immigration matters, especially if their corporate doesn't have internal support or their legal team doesn't, they do a lot of research and there's a lot of bad information out there. Which, I mean, if I didn't have somebody to turn to and I was worried about my visa, I'd be looking up anything and everything and I'd be freaking myself out. So that's another reason why it's very important for corporates to be in touch with their population and be on top of the updates, because we don't want people going to TikTok or Twitter and seeing something and freaking out when it's the absolute furthest thing from the truth.
Great point. Well said. Hit that like button, get in the comments if you got questions. I want to go ahead and ask Brittnie if she wants to play a game. What do you say, Brittnie? You feel like playing a game?
Maybe I will do better this time.
Yeah, I think you'll do amazing. All right, here we go. We're going to play your favorite game. It's called Overrated, Underrated. Thanks for sticking around. It is the time you've all been waiting for. Overrated, underrated. Brittnie, do you know how to play the game?
Can you explain the rules?
Yes, ma'am, I will. The first rule is I will give you a topic, and you will tell me if it is either overrated or underrated.
Got it.
And then we'll debate if you are correct.
And you're the judge.
And I'm the ultimate judge, yes, because it's my show and I get to do it. Anyway, it's more fun for me. All right, let's have some fun here. Overrated, underrated. The first one up. Get in the comments here. Let us know what you think. Women of global mobility, overrated or underrated?
Are you talking about the group or just women in the industry?
No, you know what? Take it how you want to take it. I meant the group, but if you want to go, if you want to take a left on this one, go for it.
They are underrated because they do so much good for women, and they need to be more publicized.
Yes.
However, women in global mobility as an industry, men don't have that, so that's a whole different topic. But the group, they do such great things. Love them to death. They are underrated. You should get them on your show, because they do a lot of great things, and women need that outlet.
I would love to do something where, like, maybe we broadcast like one of their panel discussions or something like that, so people can kind of, maybe who aren't local can kind of get a feel for it. I think that'd be really neat. I also like your idea about men of global mobility. I'd like to start that group. How do you think that would go over?
Discriminatory. But that's a whole different topic. That's my legal brain coming in. So let's go to the next question.
Next question. I cannot have men. That's fine. Rachel says underrated. Yes, you would be correct. Rob Zeitz, underrated. Okay, that was a complete softball question, Brittnie. All right, you have 1 point. Women of Global Mobility, underrated. Next one up. The University of Texas at Arlington, overrated, underrated.
Underrated. That's my
All right.
alumni, so I have to say that. That's where I got my master's degree, and they are building a campus out by where I live. So the West Campus is right up in my area. UTA at Arlington, it's a very great school. We have, I mean, it's a lot of tech. It's a great, great school. Now I hate Arlington, to be honest with you. But like I said, they're building campus out, and I think they call it Fort Worth, but it's really Lido, Texas. Walsh Ranch area, so it's Tiger Woods. He's building a golf course, but UTA is a good school.
Okay, all right. I like the candor there. I like the candor. All right, overrated, underrated. Just Arlington.
Overrated.
Overrated. Why is that?
It is that. So my dad worked there. Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what Jerry was thinking. Like, we had Dallas Cowboys in Arlington. We've got Texas Rangers in Arlington. There's so much traffic, so much road work. The only good thing was Six Flags and Hurricane Harbor, but you can't even get to it. I can't stand driving to Arlington.
Yeah, Arlington's kind of rough. I go. If you go to Arlington, you've got a plan.
I have to go to Arlington to get anywhere to Dallas or to you or to anywhere.
You got, well, no, that's just passing through. Just passing through
takes an hour.
If I'm going to Arlington, I'm going somewhere. I'm going to the game. I'm going to the airport. I'm going to maybe Hurtado's. Isn't DFW out that way?
No, that's Las Colinas area.
Grapevine.
You must need to go on a flight somewhere because that is not anywhere close.
All right. Let's see. Rachel says, "Have you eaten at Prince?" Prince. What's Prince? Rachel, put the link in the comments here. What is Prince?
That was one of the questions I had for you. Like, give me your best food and drink item.
Best food and drink item. We're talking about like give me a where are we talking about?
Give me Fort Worth. Well, no, I already know your Fort Worth answer, so don't.
You know my Fort Worth. No. You know what? I'm gonna answer that
at home answer.
At home.
If you were cooking dinner.
At home.
You don't cook. Your wife cooks.
I cook. What are you talking about? That? Oh yeah, hold up. I can't have a Men of Global Mobility group, and now I must not cook either. I feel like there's a whole lot of double standards going on around here right now.
You know how to grill steaks, and that doesn't count.
No, grill steak. That's you doubling down on the stereotypes right now. No, I don't even grill steaks. I got a grill I used once since I moved. I probably used it once in my old house. I don't even grill like that. No, I cook. I make chicken cutlets for my wife. I make chicken piccata. I make like a chicken parmesan. I make like a,
Okay.
I make breakfast. I make a mean
breakfast
omelet.
For dinner is really like the best. I don't know if that's a Texas thing, but
I can make I can make homemade biscuits with buttermilk. Okay. I can make frozen butter.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. I can cook. All right. No.
Okay.
I'm
sorry that I stereotyped you.
And Jillian's laughing right now. She's dying. Rachel Longo, Prince Lebanese Grill. Prince.
I am looking it up because next time when I go to the NTRP conference, I'm going the day before to stay at the discounted hotel. I'm going to stop there and eat, Rachel. So I will keep you posted on what I think.
Very good. Rob Zeiss says there's a big trash smell in Arlington every fall. Thankfully, it disappears before February. Wonder what that is.
That is your Grand Prairie trash dump.
I think he was referring to the Dallas Cowboys, but I like your answer better. Yeah.
Well, no, we don't talk bad about the Cowboys.
Yeah, come on, Rob. Get out of here, Rob. Somebody kick Rob off the show. Nafis says restaurants in Richardson, overrated, underrated, and suggestions. Oh,
so you're getting ready for NTRP. That's a Ben question. Ben
Yeah.
can let us know what's good, and that's up your alley, right?
That's right. That's right. I can do that. Well, it depends. Are you looking for Thai food? You looking for Vietnamese food? You looking for some Americana?
We
What are you looking
want
for? You
we
looking for
want
some hot chicken?
we want some Italian, we want some steaks, and we want some Chinese
And
and some
Chinese.
Indian food.
So okay, Chinese Indian food. Samara might have that one for me. But the
They're
Chinese food
hard.
is Kieran Court, where you can get a full roast duck carved tableside and dim sum carts to your table, which I absolutely love. As far as a steak, kind of American food, I think we was it fifth by fireplace or something like that. I think Daisy's going to set up a dinner over there possibly for us.
I
And then
went
there's
to
a
a
couple
great
phenomenal
Indian
tacos.
restaurant over in Richardson. I forgot what it was called. It was like in a shopping center, but it was so great.
Yeah, there's some good stuff over here. A lot of really good Asian food in Richardson, for sure. Arlington, I'm gonna give you underrated for Arlington just because nobody likes Arlington, and we named a whole lot of good reasons. I mean, the Texas Rangers play out there, the Cowboys play out there. I mean, there's reasons.
You
Hurtado's barbecue is out there.
you drive through there 3 times in a week and then get back to me on that.
I'd rather not. If I did, it would be overrated for sure. All right, next one up, Samara. Overrated, underrated. Fort Worth, Funky Town, aka
Underrated.
Cowtown.
It's underrated, but Yellowstone and Landman, all of that is starting to bring more awareness to the stockyards in Fort Worth. And so last time I went, it was a bunch of people from California that were trying to dress like cowboys and cowgirls. But Fort Worth is where it's at. No, you got the right kind of cowboy boots. But
Okay.
Fort Worth,
Yeah.
not just stockyards, Fort Worth is very underrated. There's a lot to Fort Worth.
I think Fort Worth is probably the most massively underrated party town in the United States. And I mean, I'm saying party town because that's what I go there for. I don't like to do business out there, but like I just think it's phenomenal. I love the vibe. I love the fact you can walk down the stockyards and just like you could get confused and think it's 100 years ago. I just love it.
Yes,
Love,
I
love,
do
love.
too. And the best barbecue place is in Fort Worth. It's called Angelo's. So I'm sure
Angelo's.
everybody's heard of Railhead, but Railhead's not good. But Angelo's is like the best barbecue there is.
Okay, we're gonna put a link there. Samara's putting a link
They
in the
probably don't
comments
have
for
a
us.
website.
I love it. Fantastic. All right. Yeah, we got to do Fort Worth again. I think we're going out there on Wednesday of next week. We're going to Fort Worth. Just a
For
heads
what?
up.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to sit in on TCU's has a sales program, and I'm going to sit in on their
Yes,
class.
they do. TCU is very nice. There's a lot of good restaurants. That's right up my alley. So I'm real close to there. I don't have to go through Arlington to get there.
So you love it.
Yeah.
Jillian says Fort Worth is Ben's Disney World. LMAO. Yeah, it kind of is. But Jill loves it too. She's spent quite a long time picking out hats last
Okay,
time.
well then y'all should just come out a little further west, and we'll get you some real hats and some real country.
Okay. Hey, I ain't mad at it. Let's do it. All right, next one up. Overrated, underrated country music.
What year are we talking about?
All right,
Like,
you know what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to talk about year 2010 through 2020, last decade, country music.
Overrated. Not even
Yeah.
country music. Can't even
Why?
listen to it.
Can't even listen to it.
No. Yeah.
Why is
no.
everybody so mad at new country? Why is everybody
It's
so
all
mad?
about Conway, Hank Willie, Waylon and the Boys, Alan Jackson, George Strait. That's country music. This new stuff is not country. Brooks and Dunn. I mean, Neon Moon. Come on, Friends in Low Places. Garth Brooks. Where's our country people like that nowadays?
But like they were new country to like Garth Brooks was new country to Waylon Jennings.
They had only because it's concerts, but I mean, Waylon's still a classic. But this is like we have rap country, which I mean is fine, but it's not country music.
But
They
here's
don't
the
wear cowboy
thing.
hats. They don't play guitars. They don't know country.
But if you like rap music and you like country music, can't you just put them together and have a little Saturday night?
You sure can. You sure can. But you got to know the classic country to be country music.
Okay.
90s country, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It's pop music with an accent, Jackson says.
Exactly. So very overrated. Dislike.
Rachel, what's your favorite old country? Put it in the chat. Daisy, throw it in the chat. I need
I already
specifics.
know both their answers. Probably Daisy's gonna say Trisha. And old country, Rachel might say some Reba.
Wow.
Oh,
I feel like you're just dating people right now.
Too.
Got to know when to hold 'em,
That is my all-time
know when
favorite
to
song.
fold 'em.
So then let me ask you a question. No, this is not how it goes, but so that is my all-time favorite song. But how you really get to know somebody, what is the best movie quote of all time? You get 2 or 3. Yeah, that's come to mind.
Quote of all time.
You whatever's on the tip of your tongue says a lot about
you know what? I love me like some Forrest Gump. Like I may not be a smart man, but I know what love is.
Okay, that's a good one. That says a lot about you. Okay?
I don't mind that one, you know. Yeah, because he also like my mama always said life is like a box of chocolates.
Yes,
you never know what you're gonna get.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. But you can learn a lot about people.
Yeah, I really like that movie. You know, and I love a lot of Pulp Fiction lines. I don't know how many of them are work safe, but you know, I like a lot of their stuff too. What do you got? What do you got? You kind of caught me off guard here a little bit. What do you got?
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yes.
Godfather.
Yes.
And then say hello to my little friend. I mean,
say hello to my little friend. Well,
Scarface. Godfather. Yep, Godfather.
So you're a gangster. So if I'm Forrest Gump on a park bench trying to meet a stranger, you're over here like some like kingpin / gangster, huh? Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? But it says a lot. There's some other ones that are coming in, but that's a good question. I feel like.
I like it.
Shania Twain. Let's go, girls.
This is great. Rob Zeit says, you like apples? How about them apples?
Oh, I need to watch that movie again. Such a great movie.
It's like, you like apples? I got a number. How about them apples? Sorry. Jack Taylor, hockey religions ain't nothing like a blaster at your side, kid. I don't know that one. What's that from, Jack? Talk to me. Rachel Longo says George Strait, King George. Okay.
Oh,
Jack Taylor says thoughts on Shania. What are your thoughts on Shania? The Canadian contingent is coming in here with it.
Let's go, girls. You know, let's go, girls. Shania Twain.
Yeah, like that's like the intro, right, to the song or something?
Yeah, I mean, Shania has a beautiful... Well, no, I don't think Shania's from Canada. I think you're thinking of Celine Dion.
I think Shania... Is Shania not from Canada? Look it up. Samara, get to the bottom of it. Samara, keep me honest.
Now, Celine is from Canada.
I thought she was
I love You're Still the One. That is my favorite, too.
What's that? Shania Twain's from Canada? Where in Canada is Shania from? Y'all
so we got Shania and Celine.
We got a yes.
You're Still the One by Shania. That's a great song. Shania has a lot of great songs.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We're still having fun.
I thought you were going to do some music genres that people wouldn't expect, because just since I'm from Texas doesn't mean I only listen to country.
And rap. We got some phenomenal rap music in Texas.
I like old school R&B. I like the 50s and 60s.
Windsor, Canada. Windsor, Canada is where Shania is from, and Windsor, Canada is actually a suburb of Detroit, Ontario. You put a little extra on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do we have one more for Brittnie? One more. Overrated, underrated. Last one, Brittnie. Donkeys.
They are so underrated.
Why? What is a donkey? Why is it underrated? What is it good for?
They keep rattlesnakes away.
All right.
They keep all snakes away.
Okay.
They can mow your grass.
Amen.
They are good protectors. You can ride them. I've rode one.
I feel like you riding a donkey and me riding a donkey are different value proposition for that donkey. But
you know, and a lot of people have rode donkeys, and they're a good alarm with the hee-haw.
Alarm.
And they can buck somebody. They're good protective. Home protection
I
system.
love the alarm though. Like, what happens if your hee-haw don't go off in the morning and you're late to work and you try to explain to your boss, well, boss, normally my hee-haw goes off like clockwork, but I didn't hear it
But
this
see,
morning.
they always do. They're kind of like roosters.
Even when they're sick, they still
They don't get
hee-haw.
sick.
They don't get
And
sick.
they can like really be a dog. You can call them and they love you. They like saltine crackers. You can brush them. They're like a person.
I'm not mad at this, honestly. I like this idea. I might like
I
this
got
donkey idea better than a
approval from
horse.
the father-in-law that I could have one, but the fiance is not about it. And so,
How much land do you need to have it keep a donkey?
well, it it depends what kind of donkey you have and how good of care you take care of it. I mean, I would take my donkey on walks.
I'm going to give you a quote that I like from a movie. Be wary of any man that keeps a pig farm. A pig can chew through 8 pounds of human flesh a minute. Thus
Not
the
every
saying, greedy as a pig. So be wary of any man who keeps a pig farm. Bricktop from Snatch.
Okay, but a donkey would buck the pig, so
Kick the pig in the head.
Yep.
Wouldn't let him
And they
eat me.
protect the young if you have cattle and stuff, and they're just really cute.
All right, donkeys underrated.
Not funny though. Not funny. Chickens, very overrated. We don't like chickens.
I love it. I love it. This is great. Oh my gosh, always fun to talk to you, Brittnie.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you at NTRP. I can't wait. I got something up my sleeve too. I think we might want to do something really fun that Tuesday night. So keep your dance card empty for me because I got something fun that I'm gonna let people know. It's like super low key here. Okay, so
Okay.
don't tell
Well,
anybody.
I'm looking
all
forward.
right?
You always have the best events, and I've got some low key stuff too. So make sure that you go to NTRP, North Texas Relocation Professionals, become a member, and register before it's too late. You don't want to miss out. And you get to come face to face with me and Ben, and you might even get some NTRP swag.
Nice. Love it. And we got to do a show from NTRP. We got to let people know what it's about. I got to do a live broadcast or something, give people some insight there.
We need some
So we'll
Glomo.
turn up
I
that.
mean, your Glomo cup that I have from the last NTRP is my favorite cup, by the way. So I'm going to need some more of
Nice.
those and the Glomo shirt. And we definitely need you broadcasting.
Yes, we'll work on that. All right, y'all. Sounds good. Hit that like button. Give Brittnie some love in the comments. And Brittnie, I will see you soon.
Yes, thank you.